Hello friends, welcome to My Politics GK House. Myself Prithviraj Reddy. Today we are going to discuss wide-ranging topics from performance grading index to black carbon deposits impact on the Himalayas. Okay, so coming to the first topic, that is performance grading index. So performance grading index is a tool which provides the inputs regarding the status of school education across the states and union territories. So it would also identify what are the areas for the improvement. Okay, not only criticizing the states and UTs, but also it will try to provide in what areas the education system can be improved. And this particular performance gap index, it is a third edition. It is the third edition, and it is recorded. It is presented for the year of 2019 to 2020. Then coming to the categories of assessment. So there are various categories of assessment, which include first one is access to the education. Second one is infrastructural development. And third one is equity. And fourth one is governance. So how the education system is regulated, okay, how the standards are being protected. In this way, the report will try to provide the inputs, okay, in various areas. And secondly, it will also tries to find out the gap in these areas, and it will also give the solutions, okay, how to avoid these loopholes, how to improvise the performance in various dimensions. It will try to provide. Okay, so coming to the performance of various states, see here, the performance of 5 top states are given, the performance of 5 bottom states are given, and overall score is 1000. Okay, so for 1000, Punjab had scored 929, Chhattisgarh had scored 912, Tamil Nadu 906, Kerala 901, and Andaman Nicobar Islands is 101, 901. Okay, so in this way, the top 5 states are performing, and coming to the bottom 5 states, Ladakh is a union territory, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh. So these are the bottom performers. Okay, so question may come: who had published this report, and what is this report about? And thirdly, what are the performers and what are the non-performers? Secondly, coming to the second topic, Tri-Food project. So Tri-Food project, which is the project of Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Okay, so this is the project regarding the minor forest produce. Basically, tribals depends upon the minor forest produce on the forest. For example, what are the minor forest produce? For example, like honey, tendu leaves. Okay, so in this way, there are various forest-based products. Without deforestation, they generally benefit from the forest. Okay, if these products are able to be getting marketized, if they can be made to enter into the market, so definitely what will happen, the income base for the tribals will increase. Okay, so this project had for the first time started in the state of Maharashtra. Okay, in the Raigad district, and in the Chhattisgarh, Jagdalpur. Okay, so whereby the forest people will be getting benefited by adding the value to the minor forest produce. And next one, NTPC joins the United Nations CEO water mandate. So basically, in India, especially, we are dependent upon just 4% of the global freshwater resource. Global freshwater resource. And our population is 17%. There is a huge gap between 4% and 17%. So definitely we have to reduce the water consumption in the industries. Okay, so here India's largest power utility, NTPC, had joined into global compacts, that is a CEO water mandate. United Nations Global Compacts CEO water mandate. So this would help out, this mandate actually would help out the developing countries, or companies, especially the companies in the developing countries, to disclose comprehensive water statistics. Comprehensive water statistics regarding how the water is being used. Okay, what is the water footprint? Everything, every detail will be disclosed by the CEO's world mandate. Okay, and it will try to get aligned on par with the achievement of the sustainable development goals. So this is a part of global climate initiative. So this CEO water mandate is a part of global climate initiative. Okay, and what is the United Nations global compact initiative? Sorry, compact initiative. It is not climate initiative. It is a non-binding United Nations pact to encourage the business and firms to adopt sustainable and socially responsible policies. Basically, companies cannot go irresponsible way. They have to align their company's policies, production standards in accordance with the requirements of the nature and environment. Okay, this is what the initiative which will try to educate the companies and try to bring them in a way to reduce their water footprint. And the next project is iFamilia. It is the global database to identify the missing persons. Okay, so it is a project of Interpol. Interpol had launched this particular project, and it identifies missing persons through the family DNA and help out the police to solve the cold cases. It means very old and very archaic cases in the member countries. Okay, so this is a important project whereby it is a kind of global effort to identify the missing persons. And coming to the Interpol, it is the organization having 194 members. It is intergovernmental organization. Intergovernmental organization headquartered in Lyon of France. Lyon of France. And it was formed in the year 1923. 1923, and as a part of in the name of International Criminal Police Commission. So International Criminal Police Commission, later it was renamed as Interpol. Interpol in the year 1956. 1956. And coming to the goals of the Interpol, first one is countering terrorism. Countering terrorism, because terrorism became a biggest problem in the world, and promotion of the border integrity, so among the countries. And thirdly, it will try to prevent the global kind of trafficking or any international crime, etc. Okay, and it will be governed by the global the General Assembly. General Assembly is a supreme body as far as this particular Interpol is concerned. Okay, then coming to the next topic, so let us discuss what are the types of notices that are served by Interpol. So it serves a red notice for the wanted persons, green notice for the warning sign intelligence, yellow for the missing persons, orange notice for the imminent threat, blue notice for additional information, purple for the modus operandi, black for the unidentified bodies. Okay, so this is the area where Interpol actually serves. And specially speaking, Interpol is the agency which will be represented by the countries. So there could be representatives more than one also, even more than one. There will be representative in this Interpol, and especially these representatives are the heads of the law enforcing agencies. Law enforcing agencies. Okay, then coming to Syria breached the chemical weapon convention. So chemical weapon convention tries to ban all the chemical weapons which are dangerous to the human beings, because chemical weapons are used to harm the individuals, to harm the people at the mass level. Okay, in order to kill them or in order to disable them. Okay, this is what the chemical weapons are used in this way. Okay, these are very much cheap to manufacture and can be used to destroy or destruct the human beings at the mass scale. Okay, recently it was alleged that Syria had utilized these chemical weapons for 17 times. You can understand how these particular chemical weapons are misused. Okay, and coming to chemical weapon convention, it was the convention which came into force in the year 1993. Of course, it was drafted in the year 1992 itself, and India joined this particular chemical weapon convention in the year 1993 itself. Okay, and this particular organization for the prohibition of chemical weapons, which was formed in the year 1997. Organization for Prohibition of Chemical Weapons was formed in the year 1997, and it is a kind of multilateral treaty. Multilateral, because many countries have joined this particular treaty. That's the reason why it is called multilateral treaty. Okay, and coming to the chemical weapons, for example, if you try to discuss what kind of chemical weapons that are used, for example, sarin, okay, VX poison, chlorine, phosgene. Okay, in this way, there are very wide variety of chemical weapons that are used by different countries. Okay, this particular organization for prohibition of chemical weapons is actually formed as a part of this particular chemical weapon convention, and this will try to prevent, this would try to identify the cases of usage of this particular chemical weapons. Next one, Project 75. Defense Acquisition Council. Basically, the Defense Acquisition Council is chaired by the Defense Minister. It was formed after the Kargil War. Formed after the Kargil War, and the idea behind this particular Project 75 is we have to develop at least 30 submarines. 24 submarines. 24 submarines by 2030. Okay, initially. Okay, but we have developed 6 submarines, 6 diesel submarines recently. Okay, and this project tries to encourage the strategic partnership model, whereby Indian companies would collaborate with the global companies in order to manufacture these submarines. So the cost of this project is about 43,000 crores. Okay, so Defense Acquisition Council had approved the issuance of request for proposal for this project. It means the project is going to be speed up. Okay, as I told you, 24 submarines, out of which 18 have to be developed, and 6 submarines are already developed. And the first submarine which was commissioned is INS Kalvari. This is very, very important point to be remembered. And next important thing is 40% of the global crops lost to the pest annually. What is the report name? Scientific Review of Impact of Climate Change on the Plant Pests. So this report was released by a kind of a particular university called Turin University of Italy. Okay, and it has released this report. Who has released this particular report? Food and Agriculture Organization. So the report was made by Turin University, but it was released by Food and Agriculture Organization. Okay, and the countries are forced to spend almost $70 billion because of the increased pests annually, because pests are eating up all the food crops. So in this way, the countries are spending a lot of money in order to remove these pests. Okay, then coming to the next topic, Cognizant ranked 185th rank on the global, that is a Fortune list of 500 companies. So basically, this Fortune magazine ranks only US companies, not all the companies. Okay, so it would rank US companies regarding their performance. Okay, and especially which company had stopped this particular 500 list. First place has gone to Walmart. and second place gone to Amazon, and third place had gone to Apple. Okay, and this particular Cognizant had secured 185th rank. 185th rank. Okay, so previously in the year 2020, the rank of the Cognizant was 195th. Okay, so it had improved 10 ranks. Okay, coming to the Fortune magazine, it ranks the companies especially which are based in US, and the first list was made in the year 1955 itself. Okay, so the person who had created this list was the editor of that particular magazine. His name is Edgar P. Smith. Edgar P. Smith. Okay, then next important thing, INS Sindhu Ghosh got actually decommissioned. Okay, so INS Sindhu Ghosh, so it had served the Indian Navy for almost 40 years. So what is this particular vessel? It is hydrographic vessel. Hydrographic. So what does it mean? What does it do? It will try to see what are the factors which would affect the marine navigation. Marine navigation, and whether do we need to go for dredging, because the siltation makes the Navy's navigation very much harder. So that's why we have to reduce the silt at the bottom of the sea, especially at the coastal region. Okay, dredging, that is called dredging. Okay, construction, etc. Okay, so this got decommissioned because it had served India for 40 years. So what is the place of decommission? Vizag. And what is the date of decommission? It is 4th June 2020. 4th June 2020. Then black carbon deposits impact Himalayas. Basically, black carbon absorbs lot of radiation. Okay, so when this black carbon absorbs lot of the radiation, what will happen when it is landed on the glaciers? The glacier melting will be very speeded up. Okay, so who reported this black carbon deposits impact Himalayas? The World Bank report. World Bank report. So it says glaciers of Himalayas, climate change, black carbon, and regional resilience. Okay, regional resilience. So in this way, the report goes on. Okay, so it says this particular black carbon is coming from a lot of countries within the South Asia, and from various countries. Okay, this is impacting the Himalayas. Okay, this is what the report. Okay, so thank you, friends. Thank you for watching this video, and I will be presenting very much important current affairs in tomorrow's video again. Thank you.